Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be looking at XSET versus FPX on Pearl, map 1 of their series, which FPX won in controversial fashion with the whole replaying of the final round and then going into overtime. We're not going to get into that today. We're going to be looking at Pearl, and we're going to specifically looking at 3 rounds where there is a cosmic divide, the Astra ult. Coincidentally, there's also a tour de force in each of those rounds. I want to have a look at the way Astra is being used on Pearl, the value that you can get out of her ultimate, and also why so many teams are picking her on Pearl. Okay, and here we are in round 7. We have a little bit of a non-standard setup, you might call it, from FPX here on defense. What they actually have is Astra and KO up here on B long, playing this pillar position, instead of the usual chamber that you might see drop his rendezvous here and then, you know, back here or something like that. And is able to like hard hold this angle and TP out after, to stop him from getting traded. But what FPX want to do here is play chamber mid because he has his tour de force, and they're going to get him looking down into mid to try and create this first pick and get some mid control. I really like this idea, and I think it only really works with KO in this position as well, and potentially, you know, Astra's a good pairing here, obviously. But KO, you can get the knife in here, which detects if there's any early aggression, which allows you time to run away in case you need it. And then the Astra smokes are there to also counter that early aggression with, you know, whether it's the gravity well or the stun or the smoke, whatever you need to actually get yourselves out of that line of sight and fall back onto B site. So it's a really nice setup from FPX. Actually pays off for them. The knife comes out, they flash out for Artis here. We see that the sky flash comes out from Zippin. And he gets the pick on BCJ. So really nice. Now they're going to fall off of B long because that util is now out of date. And they're going to have a look into B link exit. They get spotted there. They get mollied off there as well. So now exit, they decide that they're going to regroup and try and fight with numbers in their favor, knowing that FPX is sort of spread out across the map. They know that Chamber and Sky are in the mid area. They potentially heard the KO knife here, so they know KO's here, but they don't really know where Astra or Sage are just yet. But they know there's a lot of presence mid, so they might be able to force a fight in numbers towards one of the sites. They decide to go away from the chamber, which I think is a smart call. They go down B long. Xiao spots them at the top there. And Xiao gets the smoke out here. The util starts getting spammed, so we have KO knife from both teams come out, so there's not a lot of util. Like, all the smokes get popped just in time. Zekin gets himself into this really favorable position, leading the team into the back side of site, and they're able to get a couple of trades out here. And so now we have this really, and then Aaron gets this as well. So now we have this really tight 2v2 position. All the trades have sort of happened because XSET have forced themselves into a number favored fight. They've managed to get themselves into a 2v2. Now this is a really great position. So last known position for Zekin is in this last known position for Zekin is in U-Hall here. And so they know that it's Zekin, and, you know, generally you might have someone like Astra planting rather than your duelist. So that's going to play into the information and that FPX get during this. The Astra wall comes out. So this is a really nice Astra wall. It cuts off all the main angles, gives them enough space on site to work with. Zekin decides to plant right in the middle of site. Now, I am in 2 minds about this. I think, one, maybe if you want to do this open plant, that's a great idea because yeah, it's a lot easier to defend, but maybe do it like out here. I think the thinking that Zekin is thinking here is that he doesn't want to get like pre-aimed through the Astra wall and someone swing, but then you're just kind of in the middle of nowhere anyway. So maybe get some cover behind here, or maybe plan it out here so that it's kind of safer and Aaron can start falling back as well. It actually ends up working in their favor because FPX, they get a bit antsy now. So you can see the Sage wall has come down here. This is to stop Zekin from flanking through this way and shooting them in the back. So they're super wary of that. They don't know that they're both on site. Because they think Zekken's probably in here, they decide to swing out through the wall. The timing's just a bit off. Artist goes ahead of Sugetsu. Aaron actually gets a really nice... He just turns to look at him at the right time, and he cleans them both up in the end. Here's the replay of Aaron. So he gets those two. Really nice 4K from him in the end. And you can see he just turns onto Artist at the right time. Little bit of luck involved, but I think he probably still gets that kill anyway. But really nice positioning from Zekken there, and a great round all round from both teams. I think FPX just got a little bit antsy towards the end here. Needed to play it a little bit more patient. Probably just wait for that wall to come down, especially because they're so worried about Zekken's position. And then that I wouldn't have... they don't... Because they can't hear the plant or anything going down at this point. So I think just waiting for the wall to come down and then trying to force that fight afterwards. They had the tour de force, so taking a slower fight there where they can clear all of the angles and give Artis a lot of sort of weight in that fight because he's got the strongest gun in the game, I think would have been more in their favor. Let's move on to the next Astra wall. Okay, so here we are at the start of round 12. A really nice round from both teams. I think XSET played this, didn't really make any major mistakes during this round. FPX just played the round better. The timings of all of their swings, their shots, their utility usage won them this round. And XSET, I don't think you can really fault them too much. I just want to highlight how well FPX play this defensively. So Cryo is actually late to use his TP to get himself lurking over to A here. The trip setup and all of that, there must have been miscommunication. But then we have the early knife from KO to get the info. They spot Zekken. And then, so XSET has to now clear this out. They're smoked off. The knife comes out. It misses Artis. He backs off and plays away from it. And then they have to prowler through this. That spots nothing because of the smoke. So they decide to send out the haunt as well. And that spots nothing because the placement of it's not super great, and Artis is playing in the little pocket. Now this Astra wall, this Astra smoke, you'll see this quite a lot. This is a recall smoke. In case you didn't know, if you recall an Astra star, it starts recharging and it also pops this like 1 second smoke. Now this is one of the big reasons why Astra is used is picked up by a lot of pro teams right now, is partly just because of this smoke, because you get the smoke back to use later. So you can use it post plant for a gravity well, or, you know, to smoke off a different choke point. But now this crosshair placement from Artis right here is no longer valid. He's got all of this area, and even more so over outside of his vision, that he has to worry about, because you can see Zekken has actually made it to the other side of the box. Right, so this makes it super hard for this very aggressive chamber position that everyone likes to play. To be able to hold this, the smoke comes down, the second prowler comes out, and Artis is forced off. So that's pretty much all of their fade utility gone, just to get Artis off of that angle, which is pretty crazy. So a really nice setup from FPX to draw out so much util from XSET. Then Cryo gets spotted on his little lurk. He's actually going to bait out a little bit of util. He's going to get the Trailblazer out of Sky and a flash as well. And here we have Angel just trying to peek into here. I don't know about this flash peek at all. I don't think it's super necessary. You can see it doesn't really end up happening. And then Zekken, off of that, they decide to push in. And look at this Astra wall. So look, Zekken, he's already popped his sprint and his fast lane. So he's committed to site. And look at the position of this. The Astra wall's just come up right as he's in sight. The rest of the team is back here. He's split here. They're completely divided. Artis is just poking out here. And it's a shame that he misses this shot because it would have been an ace. Spoilers, sorry if you've seen this round. So Artis just misses this. Zekken actually does a really nice slide to the side. But you can see that the Astra util, he gets spammed through the smoke because there's a bloody gravity well here, which counters the not counters, but this is an attacking smoke. But the gravity well stops that sort of positioning. Angel gets a really nice spam through the smoke. And now XSET XSET's committed at this point. They've lost their entry fragger. They've gained no space. They're not anywhere on site. Just because of great util usage from FPX, they've baited out so much of the Fade utility and the Astra utility. The Astra wall completely splits them from sight. They have to force themselves to walk in, and then Artist kind of just goes crazy. They try and get a timing on him here. Aaron tries to make a play, and then Def just sort of jiggles this. He's a bit scared, and then Artist hits that insane shot on BCJ and another insane shot on Def, and that's round over at this point. They know where Cryo is. He's just triggered the trademark, and Artist goes and cleans him up. It's a shame that he missed the shot on Zek. It would have been an incredible ace, but a fantastic sight hold from FPX, and it really all comes down to this Astra wall right here, splitting off Zek and not allowing his team to follow in with proper util after him, and a great smoke span from Angel as well. So yeah, and so lastly, I want to come into round 24. So sides have now switched. XSET is now on defense, and FPX is on offense, on attack rather. It's 11-12, final round of the game. This actually ended up being the closest round of the game, the only round in this map that came down to only one player left standing. Every other round had at least 2 or 3. So let's have a look. FPX is setting up a default here. They flash out. They get the smoke to threaten this potential cross over to box that we spoke about. Yeah. So the Astra smoke with the flash, you know, they've threatened this. They don't know if someone's behind this box. They're gonna have to hard clear it or use a KO knife to clear that out. And they actually decide to do a molly lineup, and they get the KO onto the pillar. So they've actually successfully sort of baited out XSET, because they're really worried now. They're looking to, you know, BCJ's swinging this with Cryo and Defs here as well. So they've got 3 people that have committed to the B side off of just that one Astra smoke. It's so powerful. And so Artist starts creeping up towards A. Haven't seen anything yet. We're going to get another little fake towards B. Nice little trailblazer, which clears out connector and forces the Prowler out in B link. Decken didn't see him there, but I think he's very aware of what could be happening. And then we have this great initiation from Sky. And a great hold from Zekin here, like to pop the ult to just stall, and the stuns and everything. They do what they can. And they get the opening pick that gets traded out. And so here comes in the second hit, and this is another great wall from Aaron. So again, much like the first and second wall, or more like the second wall, unlike the first, but this is another wall from Aaron. Splits off the site. What's really, really important here is that the wall is, there's no plant space on the other side of the wall. It can be a very easy mistake to make. You know, you might just want to like wall off like this because you don't want to have anyone be able to sneak into this pocket. But all the plantable area is on the defensive side of the wall. And you can see the 2 players here. They're really worried about someone sneaking in behind them because they wouldn't be able to hear anything. And the play from FPX is all completely split up now. So they have to go back and check. And now they try and re-hit. Artist has to peek through the wall. He has to take a risk because they're playing solo. He actually managed to find Def, who's just in this weird sort of position. And then Artist gets over aggressive here. I don't know why he does this. They want to stop the spam from this plant, but I think considering that they had art control, they probably could have planted, up here, or Artist could have like held this angle here, looking into flowers, and held the plant, which would have like denied this spam. Because they were so worried about it, and they were worried about for a right reason, because Angel gets taken down by the spam, and now we're in a 2v3. But FPX have this really strong position here. I think Sugetsu gets a little bit antsy, and potentially he could have played this really ratty position in this corner here. But they have this great crossfire, and Sugetsu actually gets the duel on Aaron here without being able to, with being traded out rather. And then Xiao gets left in this 1v2 and XSET play it really, really well. Haunt comes down and then they just both swing it. Ray actually peeks the other way first without realizing, but then, you know, he's got the 2 of force. He's not losing that fight. Yeah, just another great use of the Astra wall to really split apart the enemy team, divide their, you know, cosmically divide them into 2 very different positions and sort of stunted that attack from FPX. Without that Astra wall, that would have been a much smoother execute from FPX. You look at the position that they're in before that wall comes down. Look at this. They've just got spiked. There's only 3 on site. They were just about to send it, and then they go, oh, shit. We're going to run back. And then Artis has to walk in alone. They get tagged by the Haunt, and it all becomes a bit disjointed. So, yeah, I think in the long run, we'll definitely be seeing Astra as the primary smoker on Pearl. I think because of the recall smoke on top of B ramp, the amount of value that you can get out of these Astra walls, the size of the map, which means you can smoke anywhere with Astra. That's where Brimstone loses out on Pearl a lot because the range of his smokes isn't large enough to really be able to affect both sites. You can do, you know, anywhere with Astra. And I think you'll continue to see either Astra be the primary smoker over Viper, or you'll see them both together. I think Viper has a lot of value on Pearl as well. You might see Viper as the primary smoker, but I think Astra gives you a lot more flexibility in the way that you want to attack and defend sites. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really looking forward to tonight's matches. I will be watching them on my Twitch channel tonight. So if you want to come along and hang out, and I'll be taking down notes for my video tomorrow. That's the link for that will be down in the description. Also, if you want to join the Discord to join our conversations about Valorant, please do that. And yeah, leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. I will be back tomorrow. Have a good one.